This book here, it's called It's Perfectly Normal for Students 10 and Up. This book details all kinds of sexual images, pictures of elderly people nude, pictures of an individual who's in a wheelchair with his out. All of these sexual graphic images are made available and placed at the fingertips of children. This is immoral and asinine to allow children to be able to see this. Also, this book even shows images of two women having sex, a man and a woman having sex, and two men having sex. That's not perfectly normal. Who decides what's normal? Is it you? Is it you? Or do parents decide what should be placed at the fingertips and allowed to be taught to their children in the school system? I'll read some of this for you. It says, after a bit, a person's vagina becomes moist and slippery, and the clitoris becomes hard. After a bit, a person's penis becomes stiff and larger. Sometimes a bit of clear fluid that may contain sperm comes out of the tip of the penis and makes it wet.
Can we, sir, I'm sorry.
Was it something I said? If you don't want to hear it in a school board meeting, why should children be able to check it out of the school system? We have perverts that are perverting our kids.
Can you identify as a black person?
No.
Why?
I'm not black. That's like...
I'm not a woman, but I can identify as a woman according to you.
If you transition, maybe.
What defines a transition?
Like, if that's your goal, you know?
You believe it?
Sure.
If you believe you're black, why aren't you black?
Well, that's just not... That's like genetics. That's like ancestry. Like, you're black, right?
You're also born a man or a woman. It's the same thing. That's also genetics.
Okay, I'm over it.
Would you allow, somebody like Anthony Joshua to box in women's boxing in a year's time if he had the treatment?
There's a weight category issue. I'm not sure about the weight categories. He'd be a lot bigger than any woman, but if he was in a woman's size weight category, yes, I would.
You would let Floyd Mayweather, who is pound for pound the most successful boxer in male history, you would let him in a year's time compete at the same weight against women?
Yeah, if there's a weight category...
This is nonsense. I'm sorry.
It's absolute
garbage. How could you possibly countenance putting Floyd Mayweather, the most dangerous boxer pound for pound, arguably in the history of boxing, into a ring with women born to female bodies? This is where the argument becomes utterly ridiculous. And it's not transphobic to say so, it's common sense.
There's a fighter called Fallon Fox in the mixed martial arts world who's a big individual, got into a fight, round one, broke somebody's skull.
So, that was in 2014. Can you have something more recent?
It's really funny how women wanted to get their own spaces, and now the very women who want to create their own spaces and destroy the patriarchy are now allowing men to come into their very spaces, which is absolutely sad. And the thing is, women need to start speaking up more, and the problem is they're not speaking out in fear of backlash, and they do need to start speaking up more, because this is going to continue going on and men are going to continue claiming that they're women and invading their spaces, unfortunately.
Can't I identify as a black lesbian?
Well, firstly, I mean, it was...
Well, I'm serious. If I can identify as anything without any need to prove I'm actually what that is, why can't I, on International Women's Day, say, I'm Piers Morgan, I'm a black lesbian?
I think taking it to a kind of absurd status,
I think that's
talking about quite a
with respect, I think that you'd already opened the absurdity door by saying it is limitless. You can do what you like. Anyone can say, I'm a woman. So I simply ask you, why can't I?
It's not equal pay. No, there isn't.
What's the wage gap, really quick?
I don't need to tell you a number. I can tell you from a living experience.
Anecdotal evidence is not strong evidence.
My evidence? It's anecdotal. I live it.
Yeah, that's the definition of anecdotal evidence.
Anecdotal evidence is reality. You know women make as much money as you for the same job.
If you divide...
Well, then be quiet, because you don't know.
So if you were to do 77 cents to a man's dollar, that's only if you divide the median earnings of full-time women by the median earnings of full-time men. That's all that is. That doesn't account for occupation, education, hours worked. So it's disingenuous to bring it up.
You're saying I'm disingenuous? Am I disingenuous?
You're asking me a question, I'm trying to answer it.
No, then answer the question yes or no. It's simple. Can you do that?
What does he do?
Can you do that?
Can you do that? If you're trying to lie to people, it's disingenuous. If you're just
I'm not lying. I said, are you calling me?
If you don't know the facts.
Are you calling me? If I don't know your facts?
No, those are the facts.
Guess what?
First of all, I'm not a misogynist, because a misogynist is someone that puts down women. I exalt women to their rightful role. Women are supposed to be women, not men. And every time somebody says that a woman is equal to a man and does what a man could do, and you're actually abusing and denigrating women. Women have a unique purpose, and they're special. They're fearfully and wonderfully made by God. I support women. So I'm not a misogynist. I don't put down. You're putting down women by saying women can be men. You're putting down women by saying transgenders can be women. No, they can never be women. Women are special, and no man can just convert and say I'm a woman today. You're putting down women by saying that. Preach, brother, preach. So you're actually anti-women. I'm pro-woman. I'm pro-mothers, I'm pro-wives, and I'm pro-women.
I believe I should have been born blind, and I'm happy the way I am. I do have some regrets about the way I did it, but in the end, I'm happy the way I am.
Dr. Phil, with all due respect to Jewel, but I am having a really hard time sitting so close to someone who traumatized herself, who damaged herself. We took an oath in medicine to help people. We see horrible tragedies every single day as doctors, and people who would give anything to go back and restore their vision, their health. My heart is beating out of my chest. I can't even make sense of the emotions I'm feeling, because to hear someone say, I've always felt I should be blind. Well, I've always felt I should be the Queen of England, but I'm not going out to become the Queen of England.
My nigga.
Under the proposed policy, this would be appropriate in a classroom. Now, if you ask me, this is inappropriate for a board meeting. If you have a dress code policy that allows us in a classroom, it does not promote a safe classroom environment, as well as limiting the amount of distractions in the classroom.
This is the woke nonsense that's going on in schools today. They're not worried about teaching kids how they can better society and better themselves for the future. They're worried about how they feel and how they identify and all this other woke nonsense. They're really not worried about bringing them into the next generation to be productive members of society. They're just here to indoctrinate them with this evil ideology, and it's absolutely sad.
I would like to request that the board reject this current policy, either enforce the policy that we have, or have a policy that reflects more concerns, that reflects with what conducts a better environment for the students, for them to get the most education out of the class, as well as prepare them to enter the workforce when they leave the school. I can't think of any place of work where I could walk in an interview and be taken serious in something like this. So let's be adults for these students. Let's put the right policies in place to help them have success in the future. Thank you.
And all this woke nonsense is absolute rubbish, and what the man was saying was absolutely true, because they see it as weird what he's done, but for some reason they're allowing kids to engage in this type of rubbish behavior. But anyway, that was another video, another reaction. As I usually say, if you guys enjoyed the video, like the video as much as possible, comment down below, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow me on Instagram and Twitter at YinkaThatGuy, and I am out.